Hi, I'd like to review this. This time I'm doing the LTP, the Learn to Play tank. You should have unlocked this tank if you played, if you logged into WoT tanks on the end of August 2013. I don't know which year you're watching this. But then you unlock the LTP. It's a tier 3 premium tank. It's also nicknamed as the premium LOL tractor because it's absolute shit. This tank is very difficult to drive, and most people that are going to use it don't have a tank that's higher than tier 5. Um, so this is a quite difficult tank to play. Why? Because it's kind of 50-50 tank. It has everything in it, but not enough. Let's say it like that, because the armor is 30 millimeters frontal at a sloped angle. It's enough to bounce tier 2, tier 1 cannons if you end up top tier. The speed limit is kinda slow for a light tank, but it's not that slow. The engine power is absolute shit. It takes a long time before you actually hit your top speed. Uh, the maneuverability though on this tank is pretty good. It says 52 traverse speed and also 36 degrees per second on the turret. The turret is 30 millimeters with a little bit of spaced armor, but not that much to bounce your shells. Your sides are absolute shit. Literally everything can penetrate you there, so don't expect miracle bounces there. The only downfall of this tank, what I think is absolute shit, is the gun. The gun is absolutely horrible. Why? Because, well, first of all, the rate of fire is very low. It shoots every 4 seconds, what is quite low though for a light tank, especially in those tiers where you almost reload instantly. Your average penetration is quite good for if you're running in tier 3, but 1 tier higher or 2 tiers higher even, and you can't do shit there. The penetration though, 84, is quite good though with gold shells, but in tier 5 you can't do even shit with gold shells. The damage is very low also. I mean, the damage is good if you reload every 2 seconds or even every 1 second like most of the tier 3s, but for every 4 seconds a round with so less damage, I think it's not enough. Accuracy though is pretty good for a Russian tank, especially on those early tiers where normally your accuracy is around 0.5 or something. Aiming time though, the aiming time is very good. It's every 2 seconds, and I do not even have a 100% cruise, so, and I already think that the aiming time is very good. So the only way where you can boost this tank a little bit too is maybe with brawlers and arms, because you can have everything out of the tank, but I'm going to cover it up later. This, by the way, was again a prototype which was never produced, one of Wargaming's imaginary tanks again. See, a proposed light vehicle developed by Lieutenant Propanov in the summer of 1942. No prototypes were manufactured. So that is one of the made up tanks again. Um, what about the credits earning? Well, the credits earning are not that worse though, because I had a match that was pretty good though. I had 1200 experience and I had ace tanker. So let's say I don't want to brag about it, but there are lots of people with absolutely are shit in the tank. If I can have a game with only 1200 experience and have ace tanker already, that means that nearly all of the players that play this tank are don't like this tank at all. But I don't say, like, I mean, I love the Aufklärungspanzer, and that was a really shit tank. Lots of people thought it, but I liked it though. I like the E4 Sherman. Was a very difficult tank to drive also, but this tank it's quite good. But if people are starting to focus you, you are dead. Trust me, you are dead. Once if those guys start to focus you, you are dead immediately. The hit points are 230. If you end up in tier 4, that you will be dead in 2 shots. but let's what kind of equipment do you want to use? Well, first of all, plus 10% aiming speed. I put it on every light and medium tank. That's a very handy thing to have. Coated optics maybe, because then you have a plus 10% to view range. Because if you end up in tier 5, you can't really do much except scouting. So go for coated optics. And improved ventilation class I really recommend for you to put on this, because you improve everything a bit, your speed, your loading time, your aiming time, everything. So improved ventilation class, plus 10% to aiming speed and plus 10% to view range. Maybe toolbox just shows. For the shell setup I only recommend to use AP shells. Not a lot of gold shells. As you can see, I already have unlocked a few gold shells, but you receive this these shells with your tank. But I only fire AP shells. HE shells not at all, because of the small caliber. You're not going to do lots of damage with your gun with HE shells. Maybe if you're planning to use this tank for fun, load it up with a few gold shells. But on a premium tank I normally don't load a lot of gold shells, because you want to earn money. The money earning on this tank though is very good, except especially for such a low tier. I mean, I can earn around 20 to 22,000 credits for a match with the LTP. That's almost the same as my premium tier 5. Here I recommend for you to use or the remove speed governor or the land lease oil, depends if you want to damage your engine or not. Maybe the remove speed governor is still the best, because in a light tank you're not going to survive through the whole match. Trust me, even I cannot survive through the whole match with a light tank. So remove speed governor, and what I want to tell you is, well, I do not have lots of battle with the LTP, because mostly if Wargaming is giving you free premium tanks, it means that, well, that they are shit. As you can see, maximum experience per battle, that was 1100, and I got ace tanker. Well, I got 1200, but there was an evenement going on, so normally it's 1110. As you can see, my average experience is quite high though for tier 3. 500 for a tier 3 is pretty good. But what do you want to use for your crew skills? Well, first of all, maybe repairs, I think, is a good thing to have. I don't know if you're planning. Most people, if they receive this tank, they will immediately sell it, because it is worth a lot of money. As you can see, it is worth 170,000 credits. That's a high amount of credits. So actually Wargaming just gave you a free garage slot and 170,000 credits. I'm still planning since Christmas to review that T1E6, but I absolutely hate it. It's absolutely horrible for me. The only good tank what Wargaming gave me for a gift for was the T-Truck. I absolutely love the T-Truck, but some guy who also plays on my account sold it, and it was such a fun tank to drive. But repairs is a good thing to have. Borders and arms is a must have. This is one of the first or the second skill that you want to research though. And for, well, the commander actually have to do everything on this tank. So 6th sense maybe is a good thing to have, because mostly it's the first thing I always research. Snapshot, of course, Deadeye, because if you're shooting AP shells, you will do full damage and you will hit more critical hits. Armor, no, it isn't a target. Maybe if you're planning to use it for a scout. And extended view range, situational awareness you want to have, signal boosting, no. Maybe call for vengeance if you're going to suicide scout with it, but hopefully you don't, because I absolutely hate suicide scouting. Suicide scouters. For the driver, you go for an well, clutch braking is always the first thing I oh, absolutely can't pronounce that word. Research. There we go. Controlled impact, no, because tank is already so light, so controlled impact is not going to do a thing. Off-road driving though is pretty handy to have though, because you go faster, and with a light tank you need that speed and maneuverability, even though the tank is already pretty slow for a light tank. Controlled impact, no, you're already so light. Smooth ride of course is a good thing to have, because you can pass carousel technique, and with your great maneuverability you will easily start to circle around him and try to get some hits and shoot at its weak spots. Brothers in arms is a good thing to have, because you only have 3 crew members, so you will unlock the brothers in arms pretty fast though. What I recommend for you to use on the loader is only adrenaline, because you're not going to use institution, because mostly you're only shooting AP shells. Say storage, not at all, because for a Russian tank it's quite surprising to me that it doesn't have a horrible storage. But adrenaline, that half a second is going to save your life though in tier 3. So this is tank itself, and I'm going to take you to the match where I actually scored ace tanker with only 1200 experience. So let's hop into the battle. Okay, so welcome back to the battle. This is the battle where I got over 1000 experience in. And the first thing I want to go to is, well, in tier 3 it's not that dangerous, you can do easy moves. And what I'm going to do is I'm going towards the hill, and I'm first going to park myself in this bush, because in tier 3 there are people that are going to rush this field, so it's always cheap shots to have. But there was nobody rushing the field, so I'm going to roll towards the mountain, and I'm going to look if there are any players to shoot at. So let me speed up this build. Well, this is actually a good example of how the LTP rolls, and like you see I'm going up to 30, but I'm not going up to 45. That 45 you will only reach if you're going downhill. So let's speed up this part, because there's not really much happening here, and I do have lots of lag though, because the theater mode is pretty shit. There we have the LTP. I'm trying to take a shot of him, but I keep missing him. And it looks like he's AFK, which doesn't surprise me, because it's a free added premium tank, and there are people who just go into battle, set themselves AFK, and hope that they're going to earn some money without doing a thing. And trust me, even in tier 8 people are doing it. So the gun depression is, well, I keep missing the first shots when I'm shooting at, like you see. See the accuracy, it looks good on paper, but since update or 2 I still don't know the update of it. The historical accuracy got improved, and like everyone knows, the Germans have very good accuracy and the Russians have poor accuracy. So the Russians actually got worse accuracy than before, but the Germans will almost hit everything, even if the accuracy is like 1.0 or something, 1.7. And I keep bouncing on those cruisers, but the cruisers normally are very weak in armor. So like you see, you have to be top tier, otherwise you will not do a lot of damage. This tank though reminds me of the E4 Sherman. Well, there are lots of tanks that remind me of the E4 Sherman, like I said in my past reviews. But this one is almost like a tier 3 of the E4 Shermans. So there you have a Panzer III. And I hope that my team is going to move up and take out the Panzer III, but looks like I have to do it by myself. And suddenly a random LTP appears, a very juicy LTP. And there we go, took a blind shot and killed him. And that Panzer 38 there actually bounced on me. But the armor is not that worse, but it's not good at all. It's not good, it's not bad, it's good.
Enemy armor is destroyed.
It's average. I mean, you will bounce some shots, but mostly they're going to penetrate. There will be a T18 spotted. Then remind that the T18 has a derp cannon, which is absolutely overpowered in tier 2. You can one-shot almost everything with that cannon. So the T18 has good armor though for a tier 2 tank destroyer. I set him on fire and I finished him off. Bam, there we go. And there's the piece at 38 again, which I'm going to finish off now. There we go. And I took a couple of bonuses from the base, but I do not have any idea what they are coming from. There we are. There we have that Renault. I still don't know the name of it. And luckily that empty medium derped the shit out of him. So I'm going 20 kilometers an hour on a very, well, it's almost vertically horizontal the hill, and still go. I mean, this tank is pretty fast if you're going flat going, but a single degree up the hill and you will not move at all anymore. So there we go, and the battle will be over soon after I took 1 or 2 shots at that PZ2.
Enemy armor is damaged.
And then my team will finish him off. So that's the end of the gameplay, and I will see you in the garage. There's a little bit more talking about this tank. So there we go, and to end this video, as you can see, I received 21,500 credits, which is pretty high though for tier 3 premium tank. If you are planning to buy a tier 5 or something like that, or you are kinda short on money, and you do not have the money to buy a premium tank to earn your money with, and you're still low in tiers, the LTP is a good tank to use because it is a money maker, trust me. It earns the same money as a tier 5. If I got the same score in a tier 5, I received the same amount of credits in a tier 5, so it is a good money maker, but it's not that fun to drive though. And with a premium tank you want to have fun to drive. If you do not have fun driving that tank, it's not a good tank to use, because premium tanks you're going to use it a lot. Because if you look at my service record, as you can see, I have 2000 battles in my M6 A2E1, which is my premium tank, and I have nearly 1000 battles in my E4 Sherman. And you want to have fun driving this tank, otherwise you just want to sell it. But if you sell it though, you earn 170,000 credits and a free garage slot, so that's not bad at all. I think I'm going to keep it and maybe use it later in platoons or tank company, we'll see. But that's it. It's a quite for speed and maneuverability, armor wise, it's a pretty good tank to use in tier 3, but the gun though is a big flaw, and it is quite slow, but the maneuverability on this tank is very good, and the gun impression surprisingly for a Russian tank is quite good also. So that's it, and I'm going to end this episode. So demonstration rules, and you can choose a tank for my garage. What do you want me to review next? Place in the comments below, and also try to check out my channel so you know what tanks I've already reviewed. Next week I'm going to do the M6 E2 E1 again. Normally I already have a video up on my channel with the M6 E2 E1 in battle. I mean a review of the M6 E2 E1, but my thoughts has been changed. Since the upcoming of premium shells, this tank is not that good anymore. So I'm going to do a second video of it, and I'm going to rate it with a very good replay. So it's going to take a while before that E1 is going to show up. But in the meantime, I'm going to do the T34-1, which is a very fun tank for me. I have over 700 average experience on this tank, but my win rate is quite low. But if you have a very high average experience with a quite low win rate, it's not my fault. But that's it, and I'm follow, and